Okay, welcome back, Slainte Mhath. Today we're going to be talking about the absolute very best that Paris has to offer when it comes to coffee. Now, of all the places that me and my wife have been in our travels throughout Europe, the one that we've collectively spent the most time in is Paris. So we do feel like we have a unique standpoint where we can give some insight into some amazing cafes there. But yeah, first, who are we? My name's Braden, and this is my wife, Caitlin. Together we shoot weddings here in Australia. And when we're not doing that, we shoot commercial work for coffee companies. We have been fortunate enough to actually travel a lot of the world and explore a plethora of different coffees. To name a few, Bali, one of our favourite places for the digital nomad co-working lifestyle. Japan, where Caitlin fell in love with Starbucks. Turkey, you just have to try a Turkish coffee. It is unlike any other. Bosnia, a truly unique approach to coffee making. We actually have one of these at home. Italy, the land of double espresso. Morocco, this is one of our favourite countries and it doesn't disappoint on the coffee front either. But as I said, we are constantly drawn back to Paris. It's not just the coffee, it's the whole scene built around cafes and bars and restaurants and dining and experience. You would be extremely hard pressed to walk down basically any street in Paris and not find somewhere that you're going to enjoy or sit down and just watch the world go by with a really high quality espresso in hand. Okay, so let's get into it. We'll start this off at number 5, Maison Sauvage, Saint-Germain-des-Prés. Now, the reason I say Maison Sauvage over any others in that area, because there are a few, is just because of Saint-Germain-des-Prés. That area is happening. This street that Maison Sauvage is on is the best. Highly recommend checking out Saint-Germain-des-Prés. Around the corner from Maison Sauvage is Café Flore, one of the places that's famous because a heap of riders go there to drink coffee and have a break. So we highly recommend checking out Café Flore as well. It's really busy, there's always a line, but it's still a good experience. You go there for the placemats. Okay, moving on to number 4, Opera Starbucks. Now, don't go anywhere, hear me out. I know it's Starbucks, but this Starbucks stands out as king amongst all of the Starbucks. This is next to Opera in Paris, and if you haven't been there, this Starbucks is kind of a small take on the Opera that's just across the road. It's absolutely amazing. This is by far the best Starbucks I have ever been in my entire life. So what you can do is go check this out, fuel up on some Starbucks, and then go across the road to the actual Opera. And if you haven't seen that, you are going to have your mind blown when you go into this Opera. The architecture, the paintings, the lighting, absolutely everything about the Opera is 100% worth seeing. So yeah, that's why I'm putting this particular Starbucks on the list. I understand it's a Starbucks and it's not like a bougie coffee shop, but this one is an exception. Okay, number 3, The Coffee. That's what it's called. It's Japanese inspired and they do have a few stores around Paris, and that's the reason that I'm putting them on the list. There's a few. I'm putting them on the list because there are a few stores, so you can get this coffee sort of when you're out in different areas in Paris, when you're exploring different arrondissements. And the coffee is exceptional. And they also, it's kind of automated, so they'll have like an iPad when you go in and you can select what you need if you don't speak French. That's really handy. They have a wide variety of different drinks you can have. Most of the coffee franchises that we went to in Paris are set up for sort of digital nomad lifestyle as well, which really suits us. So we would go in there most days and just have a coffee in the morning and sit down and do a couple of hours of work, and then we'd go out and explore the rest of Paris in the afternoon. So that's why the coffee's on the list for me. It's clean, consistent, and it's amazing quality coffee. Highly recommend. Number 2, Sauvage Heart. This is one of, if not the best, aesthetically pleasing places that we went to. We really enjoyed going here. We went here a few times. Next to it is Musée Carnavalet, which is a really good museum you can go and check out. There's a heap of, there's like a restaurant and a cafe and stuff down in the courtyard, which is a bit of a vibe. But Sauvage Heart itself is incredibly aesthetically pleasing. I should say. The coffee is phenomenal. Like plenty of different ones you can have as well. I'm pretty sure Caitlin had like a red velvet coffee one day, which was a bit much, but it's good that there's variety. It is busy. It is busy in Sauvage Heart. They always do get a fair few people come in. Most people just want the window seat for the photos. But yeah, the photos that you can pull out of this place and the easygoing nature of the people that work there is why we kept going back there. We love Sauvage Heart. We'd go there all the time. It is almost number one. It was going to be number one on the list, but then we found this next place. Okay, we're up to number one on the list. Now, again, before I do say this is another chain branch of coffee, but it's the chain. If this ever comes to Australia, I will be absolutely beside myself. Number one is Noir. It's the Noir coffee shop. So we found this like kind of on our way up to Montmartre one day. We were going for a walk and we stumbled across Noir, went in. The best coffee I have ever had in my entire life. And I would highly, highly recommend checking this place out. It gets major points because they have the best coffee and the best practices. They do like cold brew and everything in there. It's aesthetically pleasing if you're into that. When you go into any of their stores, they all have a common theme. Easily accessible because there are a fair few branches throughout Paris. And just, I can't describe the coffee. Like the beans, I think they're Bumbogo beans. I'll throw them up on the screen now what they were. Highly recommend even just buying these beans. You have to check out Noir when you're in Paris. It is the best coffee shop we have ever been to, ever, anywhere that we've been. Like, it may not be the most crazy aesthetic Instagram place that you're ever going to come across, but you have to check it out. You have to check out Noir. And they're coming to London, I'm pretty sure, so we will be checking them out next year when we're over there, if they're open when we come. Or we're just going to have to go back to Paris. Lastly, I have to throw in a bonus because this is probably one of my favourite bars, cafes in the entire world. Café Montparnasse. This was kind of our local because that's the area that we were staying in. And we went here time and time and time again. It's where I fell in love with French onion soup. They have the best cocktails. The vibe here is incredible. Highly underrated. Not many people I've ever heard say that they went there. There are two. There's Café Montparnasse and Montparnasse Cafe. Make sure you go to the right one. Café Montparnasse. Highly recommend. That's it. That's my recommendations, my top 5 for Paris. You have to check them out when you go there. If you have any more, drop them below so that other people can see them and we can get this conversation cranking. All right. That's it. Slainte Mhath.